Hello everybody, welcome to Dakman Productions and welcome to Conrail. Got a very exciting video for you guys with a cool story, so strap in to your gondola and let's go. So thanks to a viewer by the name of Tom, I was able to find my #1 on my most wanted list. And it's got a cool story behind it. Now, it was hard to research and hard to find actual facts, and we'll discuss all this, and there's a little bit of controversy behind this as well. So a little disclaimer here, this video is not geared to bash any specific manufacturer. This video is for entertainment, informational purposes, history, documentation of a possible collector piece now. So that's how controversial this video is probably going to be for many people. So let's keep it clean in the comments, please. I support all manufacturers, all hobby shops, and the hobby in itself. Things happen, but at any rate, let's get to it. I am so excited for this, and this purchase was actually found at Trainz with a Z. So if you're looking to save money, use code DAKMAN and you get a discount. But my suggestion is make a big purchase. If you're going to use this discount code, sorry, I can't talk tonight. So if you're going to use the discount code, then I suggest, because it's a one-time use, wait until you purchase multiple items, put it together, and check out at Trainz using code DAKMAN. And by the way, this is not geared towards just O-gauge people. This discount is actually for all gauges. Trainz doesn't sell just O-gauge, they sell HO, N, Z, G, everything in between. So there you go. So if you're an HO person, go buy yourself a Riverarcy big boy steam locomotive and use code DAKMAN on checkout. So anyway, there you go. And let's go ahead and open this up and we'll tell a little story here behind getting this story going. So I've been looking for this particular piece, and I remember walking up to Ron Griggs of Trainz with a Z and said, Ron, by the way, do you think you have this particular piece in stock, or you might have something coming through? And then, he sort of gets that little squint and he tilts his head a little bit, and I already know what's coming. So I can tell his body language already that, he's about to say, he goes, Sean, I literally have thousands of trains that we process every day. I said, I understand, Ron. I said, I was just taking a chance and, poking in the dark. He said, well, that was a heck of a chance, but I can't remember what we bring in. And, when you bring it in, you're processing that many trains every day. Yeah, I get it. He's a busy guy, and I have a hard time remembering what happened yesterday, let alone trying to process trains, and then somebody asked me, hey, by the way, out of 1,000 trains you just processed, do you have this one? But, I took a chance anyway. But I've been looking for this piece for quite some time. I actually made a video about it called South Jersey Sean and the Quest for the Sapphire Crown Jewel. Sort of a spin-off of, Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones. So it was a spin-off of that, basically. And I know people are like, what is he making this big deal about? So we're getting to that point here in a minute. Getting this open. And I'm just so excited for, in my opinion, which is a super rare Lionel Conrail diesel locomotive. And I know that term rare is often overused, but hey, it's my opinion. You can let me know in the comments if you feel as though it's worth having the word rare attached to it. So, this is going to be a good one, guys. Wow. I just could not believe what I was seeing. And here it is. My sapphire crown jewel that I've been on a hunt for the longest time, putting feelers out there, doing investigations, talking to different hobby shops about this piece, pouring in tons of research behind it, and still, there's still a lot of mystery behind this. So your eyes are not deceiving you. Yes, there is something missing on this locomotive, which is one of the reasons that makes this super rare. Wait till you hear the story behind this one. So let's put on a track and talk about this. Okay, here in front of us is a Lionel Conrail GP35. This was in the Lionel 2012 signature catalog. Now, when they advertised this locomotive in the catalog, of course, it showed it with the can opener logo on the sides. However, when the locomotive was started to be shipped out, and the first few customers got a hold of it and opened them up, to their dismay and surprise, they arrived without the Conrail can opener logos on the sides. So those who got the first wave of shipments, they started to post their complaints on different forums and websites and hobby shops. From my understanding, Lionel did stop shipping them out due to the complaints they were receiving. There was 3 different road numbers of these GP35s. 2297 was a powered one. There was one other powered one that was offered, and a dummy unit. Apparently, all 3 versions, the Conrail can opener logo font on the sides were not put on any of them, and they were not put on the whole entire production run. Now, what's controversial is that some people consider this a factory mistake. Those who bought them disagree, saying that the whole entire production run didn't have the logos, so that does not make it a factory mistake. So you're going to hear me personally refer to this as a factory mistake. Because, in my opinion, that's what it is. Even though apparently the whole entire production run never got the can opener logo, it's still, in my mind, a factory mistake, so I'm going to refer to it as that. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. You'll see they did get the Conrail logo on the nose, as you see here, but not on the sides. Both sides are totally blank. Now, at the time this was happening in 2012, Mike Reagan was working for Lionel, I believe, and he made a post on a couple of these forums saying, get in touch with this phone number. They'll start a repair order or return, and they'll exchange the units out. And so this is where the investigation gets fuzzy, because there's different stories of what happened after the fact. I could not believe how hard these things are to find. This mistake locomotive, again, I'm calling it a factory mistake. This mistake locomotive was definitely not easy to find. You just don't see these. So according to my research and investigation over the last 2 years that I spent with different hobby shops and people interviewing them,
and talking to them off camera, to the ones that didn't want to be interviewed on camera. There's some conflicting stories, but from what I can piece together is that Lionel finally did stop shipping these out. They did have replacement shells made for them. For those who did want to keep them, they had shells ready to roll. But it seems like a lot of people turned them back in for refunds. And according to one hobby shop, which I won't name, the ones that were returned to Lionel were used for parts, and Mike Regan took the shells off of them and destroyed them and crushed them with his feet and threw them away. So how true that is, I don't know. But I would absolutely love to interview Mike Regan to see if he would talk about this. Again, not to bash Lionel, not to bring up a sore thumb. I think this is an interesting piece. And even back then, there was people that said positive things about this, saying it's a future collector's item. It's a factory mistake. It could be worth something. I don't know how many of these are still left. Because, again, you just don't see them. I mean, they just don't come up for sale. You don't see people have them. I seen maybe one on eBay a long time ago, and it did sell for quite a bit of money. I mean, this one has a couple flaws on it, but they're flaws I can live with. It's not that big of a deal. It's in really good shape. I'm happy to have it. But I would dare say there's probably only a handful of these still around in the country. All right, so let's do a comparison. So we're going to do a comparison with this. And I do own the Lionel replacement shell version of 2297. And we'll talk about the two of them. So here you go. This is the replacement shell. And this is the original mistake locomotive. Now, Lionel was originally going to offer the replacement shells for these, but I have not seen any locomotives with the replacement shells already on a rolling chassis. I've just seen them in boxes ready to roll. So there wasn't many replacement shells either. I think one seller had maybe like 5 or 6 of them. I don't know if they got them from a Lionel warehouse find or how they ended up with them, but I didn't care. I ended up buying the replacement shell. Now, Lionel called this the corrected version, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. So let's do a comparison. So here we have the original mistake locomotive and the replacement shell. Now, this replacement shell, I made a video of this. I found a Lionel GP35 in the CB&Q library that was also featured in the 2012 catalog. And I did a body swap on it. So, I put the corrected, well, what Lionel thought was the corrected version shell on that. So, notice the difference between besides the Conrail and the can opener that they forgot. Look what else they did on the corrected shell, their corrected version shell. They actually painted the top of the hood black. And the mistake locomotive does not have the black patch on the top of the hood. Now, if you look in the Lionel catalog back from 2012, here in this picture, you will notice in the picture, although it does show the Conrail can opener logo and the word Conrail on it, originally they were not going to paint a black patch on top of the hood. That was not the original intent, but for some reason when they did the replacement shell, they did indeed paint a black patch on the top of the hood for whatever reason. Now, originally, I thought none of the Conrail GP35s made it to the blue paint, but I was incorrect in thinking that. There were a handful of Conrail GP35s that did indeed make it to blue paint. However, 2297 was not one of them. 2297 never made it to the blue paint. It was actually scrapped before reaching the blue paint. So neither one of these versions are actually correct. So the correct version for this road number would have been to leave the locomotive black and do a Conrail Patch Penn Central style GP35, which Lionel really did end up doing finally. They finally got it right the third time and offered a Conrail patched Penn Central locomotive, which Chris's Trainz and Things also bought from Trainz with a Z. And here's a screenshot of his Conrail GP35 and the Conrail patched Penn Central road name. That would be the correct, real correct prototypical version. And it really did, the real version really did have a blue door on it, just like you see in the screenshot photo. So I would like to add that to my collection to finish this off. So I sent Chris a message saying, hey Chris, I know you like to buy and sell as your content changes on your YouTube channel. If you ever decide to sell your Lionel GP35 Conrail Patch Penn Central locomotive, I would like first dibs on it. And he sent me a message back, okay. So, yeah, Chris, the offer is still open. If you decide to sell that locomotive, you want something else, something different, a little short of cash, well, the DAC man will set you up. All right, so let's go ahead and fire it up.
Dispatcher here, switch line. You're clear inbound, over. Green signals, thanks dispatcher, out.
Now, on a positive note, also in that same forum all the way back in 2012, one of the members said, you know, this gives you a blank canvas to put on there whatever you want. And, you know, he's got a good point. Could this be something that I could actually put Conrail rail on? And, you know, would that ruin the value? Is there any value to this? Is this a collector's item? If I put Conrail rail on there, will I not get, you know, a bazillion bucks for it later on? And, you know, it's mine to do what I want with, and if I decide to put Conrail rail on it, maybe that's an option. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. You know, I would love to hear what you guys have to say as far as that, you know, with the blank canvas. Would you leave it alone? Would you consider this a collector's item? Would you consider this a factory mistake? Would you put your own logo on it? Or would you just make it a shelf queen and not run it and just have it for, you know, a conversation piece? Well, you know me, I'm going to still run it. I don't ever just leave my stuff sit on shelves, not run it. I'm a collector operator. So buying stuff and putting it on the shelf and not running it is not for me. And the only thing I ask in return is please keep your comments, you know, respectable or respectful. And, you know, while you're posting them, and we'll go from there. So, Trainz with a Z, new campaign slogan is making dreams come true, one train at a time. And in this instance, they delivered just that. But anyway, let's go ahead and end this video. Again, we'll catch you guys at the next trade show, the next event. We'll catch you trackside. Goodbye.